We welcome you across space and time into our section of the universe, into the Captain's Quadrant, where I, Joe Dove, and my array of wonderful guests bring you all things Star Trek. And in this iteration, we are talking about Star Trek Picard. We have a very special guest this week. We have Lieutenant Commander Ray.
Yay!
Howdy.
We are super excited to have you in the Captain's Quadrant with us this week. And of course, we have the ever present and super professional producer of the Captain's Shaw Appreciation Club, VHS Jace. We have our Klingon warrior queen, Nita Flores. And of course, the president of the Captain Shaw fan club, if somebody had to one up the other, Jason Roy Gaston. We are all here ready to dive in to Picard, Season 3, Episode 2.
You know, the funny thing is, I had no idea what VHS Jace's subtitle was going to be before I logged in.
I thought you guys talked.
We didn't coordinate nothing. This is just showing how derivative my humor is.
And it's showing that mine is the same.
All right,
derivative for life.
Let's look at that synopsis. All right, Season 3, Episode 2, Disengage. Aided by 7 of 9, the crew of the USS Titan, Picard makes a shocking discovery that will alter his life forever and puts him on a collision course with the most cunning enemy he's ever encountered. Meanwhile, Raffi races to track a catastrophic weapon and collides with a familiar ally. Dun, dun, dun. All right.
Yes.
That's great. Hey, Joe, before you throw to the next segment, can I talk about a really exciting segment we've got coming up? And I need to let the live audience know about it. Later on, we'll be doing that Name That Trekisode segment. But guess what, guys? If you're watching live, you will be able to join in, if you like, and win a prize. So let me just go over this quickly. So basically, here's your chance to win. If you are watching live, just put an oi in the chat. Think about Aussie Jason. Oi. With a bit of luck, you will be chosen and will be assigned to a guest who will play on your behalf. So if the guest wins, you win. And then Captain Jove will send the winner a prize from our merch store.
Yeah.
So if you want to be in part of the show and maybe win a prize, put an oi in that chat, guys.
There you go. Fantastic. And while we're doing all the fun things that are connected to the show, be sure you subscribe and like the video. We'd appreciate it. And it helps our wonderful algorithm Q masters. All right. Let us head into First Contact.
Thanks.
Still doesn't get old.
You plan that thing for a year now.
It's the kind of joke that just lingers and lingers and lingers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Lieutenant Commander Ray, start us off. What is your first contact with this episode?
My initial reaction to this episode. I thought it was good. I thought it was fine. I don't want to be too lukewarm. I feel like I'm maybe in the minority about my feelings about the show, the series so far. So I feel like I'm holding my breath, kind of waiting for the episodes to build. But so far, we've had 2 good episodes, I would say.
Yeah, true. All right, Jason Roy Gaston, let's hear it.
I'm a little bit more warm than lukewarm on this one. I loved every minute of it. I think the show is masterfully building tension and suspense right now, and I really, really hope it lasts. Captain, I knew I was going to forget her name. Captain Vatic.
Yeah.
Such a great character so far. She owned every single scene she was in, and considering she was playing opposite of Sir Patrick Stewart, by gosh, she did an amazing job. Just
All
for
right.
that. That's it. I loved it. I'll explain more later. I loved it.
All right, VHS Jace.
Yeah, I watched it the first time. Absolutely loved it. There are a couple of things, slight little things that bugged me about the episode. But yeah, Amanda Plummer playing Captain Vatic. The fact that she's so into it. She's having so much fun being so evil. And I kind of like that out of the villain. The rest of it was good. I agree. They are building tension. They are building towards something. I don't know why we had to wait to the end of the episode, perhaps to get to the whole reveal that everybody knew what it was last week.
Obvious, yeah.
But yeah, besides that, yeah, it's too short. That's my biggest complaint.
Yeah, it was shorter than.
It felt like, hey man, give me another hour at least. But so, Jack Crusher, not so sure, but it is building to something bigger. There is no doubt.
Yeah, that's pros and cons, for sure. All right, Klingon warrior Nita Flores. Let's hear.
Okay, I love this episode. They definitely have good momentum going on between this episode and the first one. They are really doing good. I think Vadic. Oh, she is going to be one of my top 5 villains. Okay, she is absolutely phenomenal at this part. I love how they brought Worf in. Oh, yes, Worf, my man. It just fighting, perfect. Okay, and as far as the reveal, I have a few questions that I will ask later about this reveal. Okay. I'm not completely convinced about this reveal.
All right, we'll get into that. For me, I thought it was a great episode. We're bringing the band back together in a proper way. I think that they built the return of my favorite TNG character in a proper way. And I still feel that there's threads of conclusion in the mysteries that they put it up in front of us. So that being said, let us continue on into pros and cons.
We don't want to throw to the comments today?
We have comments. Yeah, let's see.
Our comments.
We have one.
Well, we have
no comments.
No comments. We got Cosmic Mom saying hello to us.
Hi guys.
We got Rowdy saying hello,
Rowdy.
beautiful people.
Rowdy. Hey,
Rowdy, comment.
That's mostly directed at me.
Yeah, clearly.
Clearly not me. Hello. Yes. Oh, and we've got Beth.
Welcome,
Beth.
Hi, Beth.
All right. So they're coming in now.
Here they come.
That's right. So remember, guys, on the comment section, type "Oi" like Cosmic Mom did, and I will assign you to a host. And when we have our Trekozoid episode reveal, if we win, you win a prize.
I don't know why. I thought whenever you said a host, you were going to say a-holes. Like, we'll assign you to one of these
Really?
a-holes.
Really?
Either works, though, doesn't it? She could have said host or a-holes.
I mean, that's a title that I own proudly.
Yeah.
We have a guest. Hello.
Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry. Are you kidding?
Sometimes
I gotta put them on punishment. Put them all on the brig because none of them know how to act right.
You're agonizer, Mr. Gaston.
All right, let us hop into pros and cons. I'm just so excited.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
And that's why I'm excited to get to pros and cons. I love that clip. Every time.
Who makes that stuff, gee?
I don't know, but I heard he's a cool fellow. Let me tell you.
Ray's gonna log off any minute now.
I'm not.
She's gonna tell everyone.
Don't watch.
All right, Nita, let's start with you. What were your pros and cons? I know one of your pros is Worf. So.
Hello.
Yeah, let the cat out of the bag on that one.
My favorite Klingon, he's back looking fierce, looking fine because black don't crack. Oh, girl, he was so good looking.
Worf may be a terrible father, but he's a fine daddy.
Yeah, boy.
I don't think he was a terrible father. I disagree, but that's for another show.
Really?
Yeah.
He was the worst.
He really was.
I think that he became a father in a matter of 5 minutes. Had no idea what he was doing.
But
it could be debatable.
Any of us know what we're doing, though?
Yeah, none of us do.
You know what I didn't do? I didn't send my kids to go live with their grandparents millions of light years away.
Listen,
you had to feed them and clothe them.
Replicators.
It's that hard to feed you, Alexander. All you have to do is hit the button on the right. It's too hard.
I love Worf. I stand by Worf. But I thought he was fantastic the way he came in, right? That was a Worf moment, and that reveal that he was really her handler. Oh, I'm loving that moment between them. He just scooped her right up. Come and rescue.
Saw coming.
That's the rescue I want. Like, I want to faint right now and see if he comes and picks me up, right? This is what I want. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah. As far as the other reveal of Who the Daddy, I'm not too convinced. I have questions because here's the thing. Picard was Jack's best friend. Right. He dies, right?
Side piece.
Right. He dies, best friend scoops in eventually. They have a relationship. If this is
35 years later.
35 years later, yes. This is a synopsis. 35 years later, right? If this is Picard's child, okay, why does she name him Jack? I'm not a mom, so I don't know, but I think that would not be comfortable for me if I was her, right? And she never said verbally, yes, you're the daddy. All she did was give him a look. Mm-hmm. Was it a look of thank you for rescuing us?
No.
Or that's your daddy?
Yep.
I don't know.
Baby. That's the look. That's your baby.
Is it?
I mean, they were having a full conversation for sure.
Yeah, they definitely were.
And that was a great moment.
So it was a highlight for me.
It was one of the great moments.
It absolutely was a great moment. They were having a conversation, but I will be
honest.
Needed, I don't know that I understood the conversation.
If it wasn't his child, she would have. There would have been a movement for her to go, no, you got that wrong.
She would have come towards Will like,
Yeah.
You're the daddy.
You're playing that.
Might explain the problem with her and with Will and Troy at the moment.
Yeah.
No. I'm convinced that's what it was.
Okay.
Like they just.
I'm gonna take your word for it because I'm not trying to be controversial. I just honestly wasn't sure of that interaction. Like I wasn't 100% sure, and the whole name thing got me like a little bit freaked out. I don't know. Like I don't know that I would name my current child
after
the name of my dad boo. Like, come on now. I don't know, but I don't know. There has to be a reason behind it. So,
well, Jack was somebody that both Beverly and Picard loved.
They did.
So
exactly. That would be my argument.
Honor his memory.
Yeah, honor his memory and respect him because even though when they were hooking up, there's always that shared experience they had together. So they both loved him. She loved him in a romantic way. He loved him as a colleague and a friend.
Yes, that is absolutely true. I mean, he's expressed that in TNG.
Many times.
They loved many times. He loved him,
yep.
And which was what kept him from staying back from Wesley and her throughout the years until she came on board to the Enterprise because of that. Because he did kind of fancy her, I think, and he knew that. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. But yeah, thank you for that clarification. I actually was not fully convinced that he was the daddy because I wasn't sure of that interaction. It was so quick, and I just felt like I needed more. Like I need somebody to like.
You want verbal affirmation.
Yeah, I want more
because she's also drugged the hell up. She's like.
Yeah, she barely can stand up.
It's good to see you, Captain Janeway. What?
It's
I'm
like
so high. Have you seen Cocaine Bear? It's awesome.
But I think I would have liked them to kind of wait a couple of more episodes before they kind of build it up.
No,
kind of build it up.
No point.
They gave it all away in the trailers, which is why I didn't watch any trailers. Like everyone knew that he was going to be his son. Like that's the only thing that made any sense. Right. I definitely resonated with that moment because you could see that she was emotional, and I know Will talked to her on the way up and was like, he needs to know that that is his son. And their kinship is so tight that she didn't have to say it. All she had to do was look at him, and he's like, you have to tell me, otherwise I'm going to assume that it's not my baby. And
that is exactly Picard's way.
her being so emotional and like looking away, and he was like, okay, that's why you didn't tell me all this time, and that's why you stayed away, is what I like, because he's trying to, like, it's more than, is this my son, but why didn't you come to me sooner? Because he said they've been in danger for a long time. Is
for a while.
The reason I didn't ask for help until now is because I didn't want to have to tell you that this big secret. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right,
Yeah.
so
Okay. I can see that now. But I think that that's what these discussions are about, right? Is to clarify these things.
Absolutely.
Like, that's why I made it clear.
That's why we here. And that's why you should support it, so you can get your clarity as well.
Exactly. And that's something like I wanted to be clear. I wasn't trying to be controversial. I was confused. Was that a nod of, yeah, you the daddy boo? Or was that the nod of, yeah, you better save him. We'll talk later. Thank you for saving me. Like, what was happening? Because there was a lot of things happening on that bridge. There was a lot of decisions that needed to be made, and they were all surrounding around Jack Crusher, you know? And so there was so much that I was like, am I overthinking it? Should I just embrace the look and accept it? And I'm like, you know what? I think this is a platform kind of conversation. That's why I brought it up.
All right. Lieutenant Commander Ray, your pros and cons.
Okay, pros. I think like one of my things that's been like my favorite throughout the whole series is the performances. I think that you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that's not acting their face off, because they all are giving 130% to their performance. I think that even though I cannot stand Shaw, I love that guy as an actor. He was in Enterprise and he was great in that one episode, but I've seen him in other things. He just always gives a great performance. I love Jerry. I will always love Jerry as Seven. I think she's spectacular. The performances are always a standout. Some of the writing choices, I like Raffi's struggle. I don't like that they're using her addiction in this way.
Yeah.
That really hurts. I don't love that. But I love Worf. I love him. He's always been one of my favorite characters. So seeing him, when they started the promos, I was most excited for him and Geordi.
Yeah.
And Gates, of course, because I don't think that they ever gave her any justice.
Not in the movies.
So I was so excited for them. So I think now, like, the pro for me is what this season is going to do for their characters that they didn't get.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned that, like, they didn't do Gates justice, because, like, I always felt that Insurrection should have been their love story and not some random alien that he hooked up with. It was like,
what?
Anyway,
you're having a go at Planet Bland.
Yeah, Planet Bland. Hey, you know what? I like this Bland lady. You know, and it's like
just boring. Like, I could say this: boring white people. Only boring middle class white people.
No argument.
There you go. You have any cons, or you got both out there?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I have cons.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were breaking it up. Okay, so as far as cons go, I hate the Titan. I hate it. I just
wow.
I don't understand, because the way that
you have emotionally crushed him. He's now going to therapy because of you, Lieutenant.
Go hang out with the cocaine bear.
Physically crying.
He's gonna go do cocaine with the bear.
Yeah.
The impressions of the
Has
Titan
she apologized yet?
The impressions of the Titan that we've previously gotten, I felt they had much more swag. Like, he was passing off this ship. He was like, "We don't got no weapons. We're out here scanning nebulas." He's like, "We're an exploratory ship." It's like, okay, what does that mean? Like, you're not ready for anything?
I was confused about that. What's there? How exploratory vessels have weapons? What was that about?
100%. 100%.
He was just being. He was being an egg.
Yeah,
for sure.
what am I got? I already mentioned Raffi's addiction. Like, I didn't love I was so happy that they set her on a new course at the end of season 1, and we got to see in season 2 a little bit that she was very on her way to recovery. She was recovering so well. And to see what they did in this episode was like, no, please don't do this. Like, don't do this. I would have loved this season to have seen her in the time past, to have her head like reconnected with her son. Like, that I think would have been better for her growth as a character. Yeah. Jack Crusher is a huge con for me. I don't know if you guys have seen or heard any of the Twitter spaces I've done over the last like 4 weeks. But I stayed away from all of the marketing because I didn't want to be drowned. But I was praying that they did not do this trope of secret baby. Like, I was praying they did not do that, especially to these two characters who I think deserve more than that. They have what they built was a better relationship, or even if it was in the wings, we knew that their relationship was stronger than that. I'm sure we'll get more light to why she kept him a secret, but I just don't know why we needed to do that now. Like, how does that impact their characters positively? I don't know. I was not hoping for that.
I'm wondering, does Wesley know? Are they going to bring him on? Like, what's that about?
Wesley knows. He's a space
Wesley knows all.
Yeah.
He's a traveler. He's a traveler. So, yeah, he might know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm iffy about bringing in a new baby daddy there. The whole new baby.
Why does he have an accent? But that's neither here nor there. I guess nobody cares.
For real,
the British
right?
accent is hereditary. Don't you know that?
No, it's not.
Right.
I have a little bit of one.
No.
I'm 1/8 Welsh.
No.
1/8 Welsh. Okay.
1/8.
No.
So
I'm 2/4 Welch's grape jelly.
Yay! All right, well, Mr. Jelly, let's hear your pros and cons.
Oh Lord, here it comes.
Okay, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna start with my cons first because this I don't know. This may be a controversial take. I didn't like Jack.
Yeah,
I did not like him.
Both of you agree, okay?
I don't mean the fact that he's the secret baby, which honestly I kind of hope that they would not go with either. I just did not like his personality. He just came off as abrasive and rude and just condescending. And yes, he's supposed to be this Han Solo like person who's going from system to system, giving everybody medicine. But he just seemed like an amalgamation of a bunch of different stereotypes that I just did not care for the character so far. And if they're going to warm him up later so that we do care about him, they'd better start doing something fast, because I just did not care for the guy. I kind of wish they'd done something different with his personality. That was my major one. I kind of thought Shaw was a little wishy-washy, and I thought it was kind of strange how Seven was so easy. It was so easy for Seven to manipulate him into doing what she wanted, which, you know, Jerry Ryan could basically talk anybody into doing anything, I think. Right. Just bat those beautiful eyes and just say, "You will comply." Yes, ma'am, I will. But those were my two biggest cons. Overall, I loved the episode, and I'm going to go back to Amanda Plummer, who I think is the highlight of this episode. Just her having so much fun. I'm not trying to take away from her talent, because she is a talented actor, but I could see her dad in those scenes.
Absolutely, especially when that chair spun around. I was like, oh.
And Terry Matalas seems to have such a fondness for the Nita.
Sounds of Brooklyn.
Oh my gosh, where do you live? Do you live in a war zone?
A little bit.
This is just crazy. We can't go 5 minutes without somebody being taken hostage.
I'm sorry. It's Brooklyn. Even if the windows are closed, the sound.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Well, before I was so interrupted by Brooklyn's finest, I don't even know what I was
Nine
talking about. Oh, Amanda Plummer.
Yes.
Terry Matalas seems to have such a fondness for the original series movies, and I do think that's why we have the Titan looking the way it does. That's why we have these musical scores that sample from James Horner so much. Which, oh my gosh, I love the music on this show so much. I love the Titan theme. I just love it all. But yeah, so much of this villain is so grandiose that at this point, I almost don't even care what her motivations are. I could just see her. Right. I could just watch her all day smoking a cigar on her bridge. It's like, oh my goodness, look how much fun I'm having. Yeah, I just enjoy.
I love that cigar
watching
moment.
Actors enjoy acting.
Yeah,
100%.
And she is enjoying it, and she's a perfect foil for Patrick Stewart. One other minor thing that I enjoyed. We all had a very strong suspicion of who Jack was. Mm-hmm. We all kind of thought, well, hopefully he's not, but he probably is. And I love that Riker was the voice of all of us in this episode.
Yes.
Because I think like 3 times he's like, do you want to talk about this? Talk about what, number one? Mm-hmm. You know what? You know what we need to talk about. I don't have the foggiest idea.
Yes,
he looks like you. That's impossible.
But, I love when he said the timing is just right.
Yeah,
and he's looking at him like, oh.
I'm curious to know when, because I know the actor is in his late 30s, I believe.
Yeah.
So if they're going by the actor's age, that would have been about the 2nd season of Star Trek: The Next Generation, whenever Bev was off the ship. But he could be playing a character who's younger than he is, because he does look like he'd be in his 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, some people age very well. So I mean, it could be a post-Nemesis baby. I don't know. Maybe they had maybe Beverly and Picard had a fond farewell together. I don't know.
But there's no way that man is only 20. He has to be older than that.
Absolutely.
So the timing is super fuzzy.
Maybe she aged him up medically because they had to run. I don't know. It's Star Trek. There's many different things.
Right.
He does not look like he's 20. Absolutely.
He does not. He looks like he'd be. Well, how many years has it been since Nemesis by this point?
20 years.
Just 20?
It's probably been about 24.
Yeah,
20. He could be 24.
Season 1, it was like 19 years.
Yeah, he could be 20. He could be 24 by this point.
Yeah, 24, 25.
Possible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, VHS Jace, your pros, cons.
Okay, well, my cons are actually overall, because it's also a pro in the same way. The problem I'm having already in the 2nd episode is there's a lot of backstory we want to know. Mm-hmm. How did Worf become part of Section 31?
Yeah, that was random.
What happened with the relationship with Beverly Crusher? I mean, the Geordie one seems the most absolute. Oh, we had a family, and now she's part of Starfleet and an ensign who I love, by the way. I think she's great.
Crash LaForge.
So my problem is as somebody who's been a long-time fan, is I want to know about the gaps of time and how they got from where they are now. Well, from where they were to where they are now. But when it comes to the villain, why I think Zadok works so well as a one-note, deliciously evil villain, because I don't think you need to have a complex villain in this series, because I think there's enough complexity with the main crew that they need to deal with and go into. As for Jack, we are not supposed to like him at the moment. We're supposed to make these assumptions. Exactly. That's good writing. I also think there's more depth there to him that we're going to uncover. So, at one point, like before they did the review, I was like, oh, he's a con man. He's just a con man because he's got all these different aliases. Yeah. So he's a con man. So I was actually really shocked when they actually doubled down on my first, all our instincts was, oh, no, that's Beverly and Jean-Luc's son. But that scene, there's a lot of power in that moment of them not talking. And I want to go back on it, but that's one of the more powerful scenes I've seen out of Star Trek. And for someone, who loves film, just to have a scene where there's no dialogue, but the emotion's so powerful, that was incredible.
Delicious.
As for Worf reveal, I've got no comment because it was barely a reveal.
Yeah, we knew it.
But that
got the same
Klingon theme song, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
I will agree with that. I really agree with that. But
Best
my,
theme song ever.
but my point was earlier about I wish it was longer because that's I don't want to wait till next week to hear Worf, because as much as I love the theme song and I love the team fighting, I love Worf communicating. I love hearing his morals and ethics and how it dictates his choices. It always makes me think from a different perspective. So that's what I'm looking for. The ship is the Zadok ship.
Yeah. The Shrike, yeah.
The Shrike. Which I love the name, but
Excellent
the whole time
name.
I'm watching it, I'm going, is that a Romulan ship?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Because it's the same design, like the sharpness points of the ship design.
Yeah, it reminds me of this. What was it, the scimitar?
It reminds me of the Narada from the reboot
Yes.
movies.
Very much.
Yeah. That's what it reminds me of. But let's not forget one of the great pros in this. I don't care because I'm a boy. I like things crashing and things happen. The Titan coming in between Yaris and the Shrike.
Great hero
Oh
model.
my! I nerded out wildly with that. I was fist pumping the
I was
air.
like, ooh, that was
Absolutely.
cool. Yeah.
Like, and heads up to the ensign then, because she navigated to that exact point. So LaForge's daughter got some skills here. So.
I don't know if I'd trust
Crash
an ensign
LaForge.
named Crash to do that. to
Yeah,
be
Crash
honest.
LaForge.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. But no, there was a lot of action, and there was more action than you think. Because I watched it the first time, I'm thinking, oh, this is a bit of a gab fest, isn't it? Then I watched second time, I'm going, no, there's more action than you think.
Yeah.
I agree with Jason about the tension building, though. Wow, that's a big pro as well. The way they're building tension, the way we're leading into raising the stakes. Because we got a few things going on already. It's only the second episode. We got this villain called Zadok. We've got Raffi trying to get to the bottom, which they will come together. We realise that.
Right.
But we've got all these little offshoots of stories forming. And it seems to be kind of done really well. But what I don't want, and the other, one last little con before I finish, is let's not wait another 3 episodes to get them all back into a ready room and chatting, all right?
Yeah.
I want that scene, and I don't want to wait to the last half of the season to see it. I want the OG team back together around a desk talking
Agreed.
about a problem.
Absolutely
Yeah,
agree.
okay. I'll save
Just-
that for my speculation, but okay.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that's if you're insinuating, I hope that's next episode. I'm with you. I hope that's the case. But yeah, just because I have zero patience and I want everything right now.
Yeah.
But besides that, overall, the show, I'm always nervous about second episodes of shows because then when you start to really uncover some of the cracks forming. I don't see a lot of cracks yet, so I'm very pleased. And I'm a sucker for a good soundtrack. I'm a sucker for a good space battle and a grandiose side of Star Trek that we got to see in the films. And like Jay said before, Terry Metalis is all over this. And so it's been a joy experience for the first 2 episodes.
Yes. I thought this was a great episode. My biggest pro was the use of the tractor beam to take the little ship and go, ha! And slam on the
That
other
was
side.
cool.
That's
That
called
was
the yeet
excellent.
maneuver.
I
Anything
loved
like
it.
that before. Didn't think
No.
it could happen, and it did. And I loved the exposition of Crash.
Yes.
And that's going to be
I
her
was
name.
going to say.
Well, my dad always says that if it, physics and I was like, yeah, just like Jordy.
Yes.
And that I loved. That made me get so happy. I did the thing. I was like, oh, like I loved it. I loved it. Delicious. And another pro for me was the Ferengi. He was such a scumbag character that I was hoping, part of me was like, I wonder if they can get Jeffrey Combs to be like a brunt type of character Ferengi.
that was
Just
so
on the-
great.
If they get Jeffrey in the show, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
I was going to say, if they figure out a way to get Jeffrey in this season, which I don't think
No, I don't think he would.
No,
either.
that they did, but if they figured out a way, I'd be like, what is going on at this point?
I would be very upset if Worf decapitated Brunt at the end of the episode, though. I would have been so mad.
And ironically, that's my con. I feel like yes, he was the villain that was. It's not this guy because I've got his head. It was very
wild.
Yeah, it was wild. It was very Penguin from Batman Returns.
Mr. Pacifism
Yeah,
coming on in.
I want to know how that comment of his fits into what he did at that moment.
Yeah, I am a pacifist now.
Well, a
But I will
Klingon
put
version
that
of a
with-
pacifist.
Klingon version of a pacifist. I only kill a couple of
Exactly.
people. Yeah,
I
and
make
this
the
is
deaths quick.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
I feel like this is the most action-packed Worf has ever been because usually he's getting thrown around most of the time in Next Gen. Now this time he was taking heads literally, and I thought that was a lot
For
of fun.
15 seconds of screen time.
Yeah, I mean, but he made it biggest.
It was a
impact in
good 15 seconds of
You
screen
know, I
time.
thought that was a huge, bro. I agree with Nita 100% there. That was
Best 15 seconds of my life.
Yeah, and I agree with Lieutenant Commander Ray. Raffi being back on the juice was and not having that family issue resolved was like seriously like.
Yeah, I was real disappointed at that.
Can
too.
I also say that the moment where the guy gives her the choice and she puts her head down
That was
made her so unrelatable.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come
I
on.
did not
I mean,
like
anyone
that
who's
scene.
a parent,
Yeah.
like,
I would
that's a
choose
choice. You just wouldn't make that
Understand?
choice.
Well, that's why her and Worf are going to get along. Worf's a terrible father. She's a
Yeah.
terrible mother.
Yeah, they're both going on Dr. Phil the next day, and they're going to
It's a match made in Stovokor. Raffi and Worf coming soon
Oh.
to Paramount Plus.
All right. What we got in the comments? What's going on?
Yes,
Yes.
Greek
We got a
Filter
lot of stuff going on.
says Amanda Plummer is so over the top. It was like watching Vindicta from Crisis Point on Lower Deck, but she's not supposed to be a joke of a stereotype. She's better. Have good character motivation. Yes.
I
Well,
think
if you've
it's
ever
simple
seen
as
Christopher
revenge.
Plummer on screen, she's doing exactly what she needs to do. She's
Yep.
giving that performance.
Yep.
Period.
Yeah.
Being
Yes.
entertaining.
And I think it's just her motivation's revenge, and there's nothing wrong with that. Good old simple, hateful revenge.
That's-
Good motivator.
That is my motivation throughout most of the day, to be perfectly honest. Whenever somebody asks me my motivation, apparently spite is the wrong thing to say, especially during a job interview.
Oh.
And he also says the ship feels very Romulan, and there
For sure.
was the music cue for Romulans as well.
Yeah.
Yes, there was that whole dun 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 dun.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why I'm like, it's got to be a Romulan ship,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
means she's either working with them or she's stolen it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Either choice is cool with me.
Yeah.
Yes, and Greek Geek Filter says they first did the throwing of a ship in Lower Deck's terminal provocation. The Dunesman captain threw a TAS era, I think he meant TOS era ship at the Cerritos. That's
I
right.
don't remember that. I'd have to
Mhm.
rewatch that.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's amazing that you can remember these details in such.
Yeah.
And
Encyclopedic.
Rowdy defending the noise in my street.
the
I'm so
nature
sorry.
sounds of New York City.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to like mute myself so you guys don't hear when I think it's coming. But I'm so accustomed to it, I don't even hear them half the time.
Is it true that whenever you're out of the city, you can't sleep because it's so quiet?
I can't sleep in the city, so
Okay,
I mean,
well.
I have insomnia. But it's some people feel that way. I don't, but I also grew up in Puerto Rico where it's pretty quiet, so in the country, so I'm okay with it personally. But some people do have trouble with that.
All right, Cap.
All right. Let us go into future speculation.
So, what's next? I don't know.
I love that one.
Out of context, but it's appropriate.
It is. It is. It is. All right, Jason. Future speculations.
Which one?
Yeah,
Yours.
which one?
Oh, Roy Gaston.
Ah, yes, the good one. Okay. No offense, but we all know that's true.
Americans. If it
Americans.
wasn't for those guns, mate, it wasn't, we'd be taking you over tomorrow.
Okay, future speculations. I think I've got it figured out. And I'm either going to
Okay.
make myself very prophetic right here, or I'm going to make a complete fool of myself. I
Probably the
mentioned it
latter.
last week. It's the butt bugs.
It's not going to be the bugs, man.
It's the butt bugs.
I pray to God it's not.
Me too.
It
I'm
is
not.
the
I'm
butt
with
bugs.
Lieutenant.
God, that's
Can I
not.
just deal with the name butt bugs? Because I mentioned this in the chat. If in fact that's the way they enter the body to get to the brainstem, for a very smart species, seems like a very dumb way to get to a brainstem.
I don't know. I think that's the quickest way to get to Captain Shaw's brain.
Oh, ouch. Kitten's
Yes.
got claws there.
But anyway,
yeah.
my speculation is this. Yes, the ship is Romulan, and there's a revenge plot.
Yeah.
Here's what I think. I think that the conspiracy aliens did make their way back to the basic area Federation space, but instead of going to the Federation, who was expecting them, they went to the Romulans. And they started taking over the Romulans. And that's where you got all these weird decisions in the Romulan government. And eventually their influence grew until the Romulan star exploded. Now imagine that you're a butt bug. And you are...
Butt bugs.
And you are...
Jason is not...
You're waiting for a Federation fleet to come and get you. And you're thinking, oh, goody, I finally get a foothold into the Federation and they'll never see me coming. And then the very man who thwarted your first attempt into Federation space comes up and says, oh, I'm sorry, there will be no rescue fleet. Nothing I can do. The rescue fleet never shows up. Most of your fellow butt bugs are blown up with the rest of the Romulans. You would be angry, would you not?
You would.
Yeah.
And so I believe that the butt bugs are trying to get to Picard through his son and through Beverly. I think that Vadic is a butt bug. I think that everybody else is a butt bug. And I think that the Fenris Rangers and the Klingons and the other Federation officers who went after Jack, I think they're all butt bugs. And I think there are butt bugs on the Titan as well. Because later on, in one of those this season trailers, you see Captain Shaw firing on Starfleet personnel.
The thing is, Jason, the amount
is.
of times that you've said butt bug makes me think maybe you're a butt bug. Because that's exactly the kind of butt bug talk in my head.
Well, I also want you to pay attention to many of these
I hope
characters.
it's not a butt bug,
Look-
but it does
look at the
sound like it
characters.
would be.
Look at the characters in this show so far, and the ones who are suspect, the backs of their necks are all covered by something.
Like, sure.
Jason.
Like Shaw.
Well,
The
Seven's
new
covered.
Federation uniforms covers the back of the neck.
Yes.
The people
What about
on,
Jack? Does anyone think Jack's been infected?
I don't know. I don't remember seeing the back of his neck, but he could be a butt bug. I don't
See
know.
what I got to
Could be
deal with,
infected.
Lieutenant?
And it could be Beverly trying to find a cure, and that's why.
Or
'Cause she
maybe
sealed him off last week, remember?
Maybe she
She
has
sure
found a
did.
cure. Maybe
She
Jack
already
is
did.
what Hugh
That's
should have been
right.
to the Borg. Maybe that's why the other butt bugs are trying to unbutt bug him.
Maybe.
Unless
I'm just
they
going to see
figure
how
out
many
a
times
different
a
way.
butt bug before I'm kicked off.
YouTube's just going to go like copyright strike.
Lieutenant
Community guidelines.
Commander Ray.
Community guidelines.
Yeah,
Lieutenant Commander Ray has a thought.
yeah. Let's hear your
Please
future
tell us.
speculation.
Oh no!
If you
I
can
was
say
saying
butt
she
bugs at least
already-
10
she
times, I'll
already-
give you $1.
She already figured out a way to get them out. Remember in the episode, she figured out how it was connected to their brain stem.
Yeah.
How it was she
Affecting their
the
brain maneuver. Yeah.
So I highly doubt she would accidentally let her son get infected with one of these random monsters. I'm not going to call
Well,
it that. I'm serious. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do it.
You were like,
But she may not aware that. Like, she may not have been involved. They could have been separated. She's found a suspect, it could
The
be.
fact that she kept this man a secret for over 2 decades, she wasn't letting him out of sight. If he's
That's the-
infected, she's infected.
Would you
I'm
want to
just saying.
This
would
goes
you want
back-
everyone to find out that your son was a butt bug though?
But it goes back to my thing about we have so lack of information in the last 20 years. A lot of that backstory, if we knew it, would answer a lot of this. I think.
Definitely butt bugs. Yeah.
Oh God.
Definitely butt bugs. Rowdy's on board with
Just
the butt
like my
bugs.
last medical test.
Joe, for the merch store, I've got to design a butt bug
Yeah,
t-shirt.
yeah.
That's it. Definitely butt bugs.
That's it.
Mm.
All right, that's my next job. Make some butt bug shirts.
My size is a 2X. I want one.
I want one also. I want a butt bug shirt.
Lieutenant Commander Ray has class and does not want one.
No.
Thankfully, somebody is classy in this room. Thank you.
Count me out.
All right. So
I've heard that term so much, I don't even know what the name of the species is anymore.
They're the bluegills.
The bluegills. Thank
The
you.
They're
bluegills.
called the bluegills.
Yes, but I like butt bugs better.
Disgusting.
Clearly.
do you? I don't know. You said it only a dozen times.
Rowdy says we shouldn't wear it in public.
Maybe don't wear it in public.
Oh no, I'm wearing this to church.
Well, the thing is, if you casually look at a shirt and it says butt bugs, bugs and plugs can kind of merge from a distance. So do you really want to be walking around with the t-shirts that may come across as butt plug?
I'm throwing all of
We're
these
definitely getting
boys
community
into
strike.
the
Yeah,
break.
community guidelines.
And you're all going to the break.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So,
Tossing you all.
I don't know, by this point, we're going straight to hell. I'm just telling you.
Do you have any?
What's happening?
Do you have any future speculations?
Oh,
'Cause I know you had something you mentioned earlier that you were going to say.
he said as far as like a ready room meeting. I'm assuming that has to happen next episode,
I
which
hope
is
so,
when
man.
because in the like clips that they showed, I think honestly I don't remember if it was maybe at the end of the episode or maybe it was an accidental trailer I saw, but you see Marina Deanna on the Titan.
Yes.
So I'm assuming she would be coming aboard the next episode, if nothing more than to care for Bev. Like I would assume that she's there. And I know we're going to be seeing most likely Jory, I would assume, next episode.
Yeah.
And
Especially
now that they've introduced Worf, we'll be seeing Worf next episode.
Yeah. I totally co-sign on that because they showed the schematics of the space station that he's on in the end of the credits. So
yeah, I think the pacing is better, and in this season so far, just in the 2 episodes, the pacing is better.
Agreed.
So I think some of the introductions of characters that are going to move the story forward are going to happen a lot sooner. That's one thing like I'm a little bit jealous of when it comes to like Discovery and Prodigy. I think both of those use the time in their serialized story expertly, and I kind of hope that this season does it better than the last 2. Jason, I know that you had done the like when you fix season 2 down to 8 episodes. Like this feels like somebody who has a better concept of pace took the story and actually knew how to organize it in a way that made sense. And the fact that it didn't feel like we were rushing through the first 2 episodes, but that it's going to make sense because they're slowly introducing new characters. But now that we've gotten a mention of Geordi and we've seen Worf, like I think that's all going to happen in the next episode.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right, Nita.
I think that what was stolen from the Daystrom Institute is going to play a big part with what's going to be happening with Captain Vadic and what's going on there. I think Captain Vadic's people have a lot to do with it. I'm speculating that she even has something to do with the destruction on Earth. It wasn't on Earth, pardon me. But I think that she has the destruction of that center.
The Recruitment Academy.
Recruitment Academy. I absolutely believe that Vadic has everything to do with it. And it has to do with what they stole from the Daystrom Institute. I think that we're going to be surprised to whether or not Worf is actually in Section 31. I'm not too sure that Rafi knows exactly who her handlers are working for. We're speculating in Section 31, but he's got a captain's uniform. He's got a uniform, a Starfleet uniform, not a Section 31 uniform. So could it be? Absolutely. But I think that we might be surprised as to who really sent Rafi on the hunt for this.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but can I just toss in one more con?
Sure.
Is the interchanged language of Starfleet Intelligence and Section 31. Those are two separate organizations, but they're using them interchangeably, which is like, that's not the same thing.
Right.
It's not the same thing. Absolutely.
That annoys me as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely, I think they're with intelligence, Starfleet intelligence, but I don't think it's Section 31 like the Ferengi, I think it was the Ferengi who had kind of mentioned that. I don't think so. I think it was a good moment there, because it goes to show you how little he knew about the structure of the Federation, and as opposed to his attitude being really high up as to I know what's happening. So I think that's excellent. But yeah, I caught that little bit of kind of verbal error. They was like, no, I don't think this is Section 31. I think this is Starfleet Intelligence, two different entities as well. But I think that was purposely done, maybe to kind of show what he didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. He's dead now, so it don't really matter what he knows.
Yeah. All right, Jace.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, just making sure there's two of us, remember?
You win already. So.
I don't think we're finished with the introduction of villains.
No, we have one more for sure.
We have more, and I think you probably, from a writing standpoint, want to bring them in the next episode or two. My hope is, and this is not a speculation, it's a hope, that there isn't just one big bad. I would love nothing more for this season for them being attacked on multiple fronts from multiple different villains with with their own reasoning. Because let's face it, Picard has upset a lot of people over the years with some of his decisions. So it would be kind of cool in my mind to see the, coming home to roost a little bit.
The chickens are coming home to roost.
And it's going to take the entire team to protect each other. I don't know if I would hate that. But I think we absolutely are going to get LaForge next week and Troy as well. I think obviously the episode will probably start with really digging into Worf. Or they might do that annoying thing where you got 3 or 4 scenes and then we go cut back to Worf.
Right.
So I still think episode 3's introduction, because if we're introducing new characters in episode 4 and 5, there's a problem here. There's a problem. We've got to get on. It means they don't have enough plot. So, it's my hopes. It's my belief. We're going to get introduced to more villains and the rest of the Star Trek crew. So that's my speculation.
My speculation is quite simple. We're going to see Lore, and it's not going to be a bore. I am super excited to have him
excellent.
back. Any version of Brent Spiner is a great version of Brent Spiner.
He's the X Factor, I think, as Lore. Who knows what he's going to be like?
I truly believe the whole Daystrom, the reason why they're bringing up Daystrom is because some idiot at Daystrom put Lore back together, and he got Peanut Hamper and the other robot. they're wreaking havoc, and I think that's what's the problem. They got Moriarty.
Jeffrey Combs can get back in there. He's playing Agamus.
Exactly, he's Agamus,
right?
And I think that's the big bad of it all is the AI taking over, and that Vedic is just part of that cog. She's part of the cog to get.
I'd be with that, Joe. I don't know if she's the big bad.
No, I think she's part of the the reason why they got out, and she's sorry, and then just was messing around because she's mainly, and the reason why I say is she's mainly after Jack. She doesn't care about Picard.
Right.
Like, Jack, I want you. Your little tuchus needs to be on my ship so I can chop you up in little pieces. So I really think that's going to be the main focus.
It actually reminded me of that nice little scene when Picard's putting all the inhibitors around. He puts the last one down. And you can see they tried to grab him straight away.
My mind.
Yeah, they tried to grab him, but I love that. Because he insinuated, well, maybe I can give him you two. And it quickly tables and turns. He's like, well, they're after you.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I did like that rather human moment whenever the Titan tries to beam them off, and they're just like, the inhibitors.
Yeah.
I just thought,
We made sure this couldn't happen. Turn it off. Like,
that's a
yes.
screw up I would make.
Yeah.
But that's a normal. Oh my
Yeah,
god! I'm in the
it's
middle
very
of a
human. I love
frenzy.
that.
Yeah.
Especially with two semi-retired officers.
Right.
Like, get on your toes, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I have one more piece of future speculation. Has everyone gone?
Yeah.
I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I have one more piece of future speculation. Geordi runs the Starfleet Museum,
Right.
the Fleet Museum. Terry Matalas said we would see multiple Enterprises. And in the end credits, we see that there are some very familiar ships that are parked at the Fleet Museum. I think this is what Terry Matalas is talking about. I think that whenever the Titan arrives at the Fleet Museum, we're going to see the Enterprise A again.
And F.
We'll see the F eventually, but I think the Enterprise A will be parked there. I think the NX-01 will be parked there. Voyager, Excelsior. I think we're going to see like the greatest hits of surviving Starfleet ships are going to be parked there, and I will go into a diabetic shock.
You know, I had a bunch of pictures up here, and one I never, because we've been chatting away, I should have put them up. But can we get clarification what these ships are on display here?
So that is the original Titan that was commanded by Savick. That's because
the center one or the one on the left or right?
The one on the far right.
The far right is the Savick one.
Okay.
The one in the center is the one Riker used to command, and then and the other one is the current Titan.
Okay, the Neo Constitution class.
Yeah, the Neo.
Yes, the first one was a Shangri-La class ship, and they canonized it with this with that display there, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. I just love that. Like us, we occasionally go retro, and that's what they've done with their starships.
Yeah,
you know, let's bring back the 80s, the 2380s.
I don't know if you noticed, but the shuttle that Picard and Riker took to Beverly's ship was called the Savick.
Yeah,
Savick. It was because they had that beautiful shot of the piece coming to the screen.
Yeah. So it was Captain Savick is now canon, and I think that's great because I always regret they never showed what happened to her.
Yeah.
And there's one little tiny quip before we go, and that is I want to send a special shout out to Tiffany Shippistrata. She works for the wonderful world of government. She's another government person that showed up in Star Trek. As we know, the unsuccessful candidate Stacey Abrams was in Discovery, and now we have this episode. The Trill Doctor was that character, and I thought that was a nice little nod. And I just
U.S. politics.
I just wanted to send her a special shout out because I thought that was cool. All right, so comments.
Sounds like you're running in 2028.
Joe Dove for president. Nita, any comments that we got?
Yeah, we got a few comments here. Let's see. Rowdy, as he said, definitely butt bugs.
Rowdy will buy a shirt. He'll definitely buy a shirt.
Your free box of shreddies with butt bugs included inside.
But we don't have many other comments. Geek Culture did have to go get something out of the stove before he burned it.
And Geek Filter is literally on the Starship cruise, Star Trek.
Yes,
he is.
He is.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he had to rub it in.
Try to get him to play this on the big screen, with a poll.
Yeah, you should.
Yes.
You should ask him.
Not if we say butt bug one more time.
But it's Jason. We ain't get played next to the pool.
They chlorinate the pool. There will be no butt bugs in the pool. That's how Beverly's going to save the Federation. Is she's just going to chlorinate everything.
Yeah.
All the butt bugs will die.
Oh, Geek Filter says he's not on the cruise.
What were you?
We crushed his soul by saying that.
No, yeah, I know. He was just saying.
Like, I really wish I was on that
were
cruise.
getting on.
Oh, he's seeing people off on the cruise. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You broke his heart.
In a nice way, or it's like good riddance, or like
yeah. Haha! I gave everyone COVID. No.
Enjoy the butt bugs.
No, stop it.
Then he's saying to his friend, "Did you bring the cocaine? You brought the bear. Load him up. We're out of here."
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Oh,
hey,
wow.
Sequel to Cocaine Bear. There we go.
That's it. On a cruise ship, just like Speed 2, and we know that worked out perfectly.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. All right. Are we ready
Throw to a commercial, Joe.
Please go to commercial.
Let's throw to commercial.
On the next episode of Star Trek The Next Generation.
Don't trust anyone. Remember that, Jean-Luc.
Sabotage strikes the highest ranks of the Starfleet Command.
Regular security, emergency.
And threatens the future of the entire Federation.
What is that?
But do evil parasites hold the key to this deadly conspiracy?
You'll be one of us soon.
Find out on Star Trek The Next Generation.
The neck bugs.
Yeah, Jason. Don't mention butt bugs again. Don't mention butt bugs. Oh, let's play the butt bug commercial.
They don't say butt bugs though.
You know. Okay, Lower Decks is canon. They call them butt bugs.
All right.
I don't know
Jason
how
said
much
Lower
canon
Decks
from
is
Lower Decks with that orgy scene. Like,
Okay,
at
listen.
that point.
Listen.
What?
I don't know if you noticed, but in the Ferengi's abode, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
there were Mugatu horns on a shelf. That was from Lower Decks
There we go.
That's true.
because the Ferengi are poaching them.
Right.
So yes,
Who called them butt bugs in Lower Decks though? Was it?
it was Boimler.
Boimler.
Yeah, I'm
course
going
it was Boimler.
I'm not going to completely consider him an expert on that.
I'm not gonna consider
All right. Well,
All
now
right.
it's officially time for me to release my control of the show and pass it on to my good buddy VHS Jace because we're playing.
Name that Trekisode.
It's time for Name That Trekisode. The hell is that?
Okay, guys, here we are.
Oh,
now, Nita, are we
man.
assigning anybody? How are you looking? Well, no one's
I
interested.
Well, no one said oi. I don't think that they.
Well,
got,
Space Mum
Mom
did.
said
The
that.
Space Mom was the only one. Let me finish.
Okay.
Jeez.
Well,
Space
clearly,
Mom
Captain
did.
Dove.
Yes.
Mom.
No, because that's her son. I'm gonna assign her to Jason.
Oh.
Which one?
Oh, wow.
Texas Jason.
Oh, okay.
Well, not me, considering I made the
We
clip and
can't-
know all the
Now,
answers.
he wouldn't have a
No.
chance. I don't
Be a
know. I'm
little
not
bit
very good at this.
Rowdy,
So, guys, how this?
All the
Rowdy
Yes.
will be assigned to Lieutenant Commander Ray,
Yay.
Oh, there you go.
and Beth will be Captain Dove,
Oh, sorry, Beth.
Right.
and Reverend Dr. Betty Tom will be me.
Oh, my reverend.
And we have an
Hey,
additional,
Beth, what's up?
and we have an additional geek filter, geek filter. Can we double up, Jace?
Unfortunately, no. Sorry, Nita, because that means
Okay.
our Captain has to buy 2 prizes if they
Got
win.
it. Okay.
So next time, Geek Filter, absolutely get on there and do oi, and you may be chosen next week.
There we go.
Absolutely.
We're just building anticipation for Geek.
Yeah, we
Filter.
had to take the
Will
first
he be
4.
chosen? Won't he be chosen next week? All right, how this is going to work? I'm about to play a little video that's just one single image that's going to come into focus, and I need you guys to guess which episode from Star Trek: The Next Generation is this from?
I'm terrible at names. Like I could probably try and figure out the synopsis, but I don't know the names. Just so
I
that
will
we're-
accept
okay.
a good synopsis. If you can
Okay.
describe to me what the episode was about, I'm down with that. And remember, once you know it, you just go oi.
Oi.
Like
Oi.
bring your best Aussie accent to the front and
Oi.
go oi, and then that's it. That's your buzzer. All right, let's do this, guys. 3, 2, 1. I'm pressing play now, and we can talk over this. This is fine. It's slowly going to come into focus, as you can see.
Very slowly, brother.
You should already be starting to suss out environments.
It's attached. Oi,
Yeah.
it's
Oi.
attached.
Done.
Oh,
Yes.
Done. Well done, Jason. That is
Oh.
correct.
Cosmic Mom has won.
That was, in
Oh,
fact,
wow.
attached. Bonus points if you can tell me the episode and season.
Oh
That
god,
is,
it's season 7 for sure.
Yes.
Episode 3?
In fact, it was actually episode 8.
That's
Damn.
yeah. Well,
But well done for even getting the season is impressive. And the fact that you got that from what I consider not one of the strongest Star Trek episodes, a good episode, but not one of their strongest. Very good.
It's all right.
So guess what? You have to buy something for your mum, I think.
Oh, that's easy.
Joe?
All right. There
And that was it. That was our first scene. Congratulations, Space Mum. Well deserved.
Yes.
Well done, everyone.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I suppose we're going to say well done to Jason. Yeah.
I'm going to just say Cosmic Mom is one of our greatest supporters, and she's incredible.
She's wonderful. No,
my mom won't even watch this show.
So, no chipping out, Joe. You're not buying her a sticker. I expect the high-end stuff from the
hold on. As treasurer, I decide what gifts.
It's your mum, dude.
Get your mama hoodie.
Cosmic Mum, if you're listening, the rest of us want to know what he gave you, all right?
Yes.
So if he hasn't got you something nice, we want to know about it.
It better not be a hand-drawn picture for the refrigerator either.
Again.
And no butt bug t-shirts.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
All right.
Oh my God.
That ends Trekisode for the week. But now it's my next segment, and that is one of my favorite segments. It's time. It's time for stupid Star Trek questions.
Okay.
So basically, how this works, Ray, is I'm just about to put up a stupid Star Trek question somebody sent me, and we're going to try to figure out and make sense of it, all right?
Sure.
So let's have a look at tonight's stupid question, and it is, with all the scientific advances, why do Starfleet officers not have protective clothing? They can easily be stabbed, shot, and phased. Seems dumb they wouldn't have some sort of armor.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's not really that stupid, is it?
That's a very good question, actually. I mean, compared to the poop question we got last time.
Yeah, we were talking about baby poop last week. Yeah.
That was from our good buddy, a friend of the show.
The actor?
The actor of Star Trek Discovery, Michael Chen.
Yep, that was his question.
Michael.
Yeah, and Michael will be on our Power of J-Skull this week, our other show on the channel that talks about He-Man. He's a big He-Man fan, so he joined us this week, didn't he, Jace?
Yes, he did.
It was great.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. The uniforms protect them from the element. That much I know. But he's right. Like, you can stab a brother.
Look how many times Kirk got messed up. His uniform got slashed open and things like that.
Let us not, okay? That was made out of tissue paper. They was hoping to get it out, okay?
Just wanted Kirk shirtless. Let's be honest.
I did. Why not?
Kirk wanted Kirk shirtless for sure.
That does beg to differ a question. I mean, why don't they have protective clothing? Could it be because they really mostly fight with phasers, and there's a distance between you and your enemy? They don't do a lot of hand-to-hand combat. Maybe I don't know. I'm throwing out ideas. I don't know.
Yeah, I got no idea.
I see Teddy.
Yes.
Hi, Teddy.
Depending on the away mission, they do have different uniforms that they wear. And some of them are more resilient to different type of terrain or even different type of attack. So I think it depends on what they're doing. I think for the most part, I mean, that would be like, why aren't all military uniforms built in bulletproof vests? I mean, they still have to put on armor on top of their uniforms.
Exactly.
So I think it's just a regular uniform. And unless they perceive that they will need to have specific armor built in, then it wouldn't be. They would just put it on top.
Here's a thought, though. In this current modern, the timeline they've got, you would have thought with 7 of 9 and all the Borg technology they discovered and developed in Voyager, that they could have adapted the Borg technology as some sort of shielding, because that's always been the...
But think about it. How uncomfortable it would have to be to work and fight and struggle, because I think the question is about a daily use of uniform. If it's a daily use of uniform, super uncomfortable. But if it's during time of war, like the Lieutenant Commander Ray said, depending on, are you on the front lines? Are you,
But I can understand why they would have written this question, because we saw TNG crew all the time going into very dangerous situations with wearing their pajama suits.
Yeah. I mean, in Deep Space Nine, during the Cardassian War, those that were in the front line were raggedy. If you remember the episode where Nog loses his leg, those soldiers were there for months. They look raggedy. You know, that would have been the moment. Yeah, they were stranded, of course. It's not their fault. But that would have been a moment where armor perhaps would have maybe come in handy.
I get the feeling the Cardassian uniform was pretty
a little bit armored,
resilient. Yeah.
I did want to make a good point about your thought about Borg technology. It took a lot of work for them to even consider putting it in the ships, because once Voyager got home, they realized, I think at that point, how much Borg technology that they had incorporated into Voyager, and that maybe started the process. But between when Voyager got home and when we heard in season 1 that they were doing all of this retrofitting on certain ships to include some of the Borg shielding, not necessarily the specific technology that was built into the ship, but at least the shielding was enhanced and things like that. And even Seven wasn't comfortable with the fact that they had so many ships, which of course we know led to the reason that she was able to take over the fleet in season 2. There's a lot of things to take into consideration when building Borg tech into things. I don't think that we're at the point where they would be willing to wear suits of nanolites. I don't think they would be willing to do that.
Geek Filter makes an interesting point. In the animated series, TAS's animated series, I thought he meant TOS before.
Nope.
In the TAS, they had the life support belt, which was also a shield. He also says that we see armor in the movie starting with the TMPs.
The motion picture.
You know, I'm not sure how much you really want to count this as any form of canon, because it's not canon at all. But you see characters on Star Trek Online wearing armor all the time.
Oh, yes. And Geek Filter says that in Discovery, we also see armor.
Yes, we do. And I think the Discovery armor looks awesome.
There's a lot of money on Discovery. And I mean, it's the beacon that brought everything back. So
I mean, I've studied, I've seen a lot of documentaries on the armor used, in the Dark Ages, in the Middle Ages. That armor was extremely heavy, was extremely cumbersome to fight, and they had to actually, learn to move and to fight with that on and it took months because it was so cumbersome and heavy. Granted, we're talking about the future. Maybe there is a way of getting that armor that doesn't weigh a ton, but I don't know.
Armor that doesn't weigh a ton. We currently have this thing called carbon layering. And what that does is basically, like if you make a diamond, you take some carbon and you press it until you get to a point where it becomes a diamond, or coal rather. But they did actually put that into fruition and create a type of armor a little bit stronger than Kevlar, but a lot lighter than Kevlar. So I'm surprised that Star Trek never went, all our uniforms made out of that. We're good.
I just think the guy who wrote the question really cares about the people in Star Trek. Doesn't want to see many more red shirts die. Doesn't want to see anyone.
That's right.
So I think that question comes from a place of love, and that's how I'd like to end.
I'm sure that this has probably come up before in staff meetings in Starfleet. It's like, why is our uniforms not armored yet? And then somebody from the costuming department says, well, why can't you make a starship whose consoles don't explode in their faces
with rocks?
And then it's just back
Discovery.
and forth. And forth.
With rocks.
Yes. Why do we put rocks in the consoles?
Always had rocks too. It was like, why are there rocks in there? All right.
That ends Stupid Star Trek questions. I'll hand it back to you, Captain.
Would you have an outro?
I used to, but we're trying to save on time here.
All right, yes. All right, well, then
along.
I just want to thank all of you for joining us because we had a very in-depth discussion. We had a lot of fun. There was so much that we had. It was great. Let me just say that we are excited to announce that we have a merch store that coincides with our new game. So, Anita, would you mind? Oh, yeah, there we go.
I got it.
It shows this lovely merchandise available for you. Plugs and flags and and all this stuff. It's fantastic. We've got a lot. Nita's wearing an example of our shirt, the Captain Squadron. Yes, our own Vanna Blanco is wearing it.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Absolutely lovely.
And of course, make sure to follow us on all of our socials. Lieutenant Commander Ray, you can follow me at Just Dungeon. You got VHS Judge, Jason Rogaston, Nita, and then Annie at Vulcan Diver. And then Lieutenant Commander Ray, you're Lieutenant Commander Ray everywhere, right?
I am. So the way that it's on screen with the periods is the way that it is on TikTok, but there's no periods on Twitter, but it's the same.
Perfect. All right, and that's going to do it for this week's episode. Please join us next week. Tell your friends. Make sure you subscribe. Please give us a like, and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper.
See you, everyone.